Arya Vidyapith Motihari. Now, as promised, I'm back again for you, the students of class 10. And now we will do the second part of the poem Amanda by Robin Klein. Okay, we've already done part 1. So we've done part 1, we will do part 2 today. So, we again have these sketches of a sad girl called Amanda, as I had explained in part 1. And in part 2, you will see the journey of Amanda from sadness to cold indifference, where she is completely lost. She stops listening to her mother. Okay? So, as usual, we begin with frame 3. We've done 2 frames and therefore 4 stanzas. Right? This is frame 3 and stanza 5. So, it's again Amanda's mother shouting, yelling. And I told you these exclamation marks are very important, and they tell you that she is actually shouting, yelling at her. Okay? So, she says, don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Acne, the word acne is a skin condition where there are red pimples. They arrive, they are there on your skin, and that's a skin condition. Okay? So, here, Amanda's mother thinks that Amanda's acne is due to her eating too many chocolates. Okay? So, she says, don't eat that chocolate, because remember, you have acne, and it has happened only because you eat too many chocolates. Alright? So, obviously, Amanda doesn't like this. Okay? Who doesn't like chocolates? You do. Even I do. Alright? And Amanda is a girl of 8 or 9 or 10 perhaps. And she does love chocolates. So, the way her mother tells her not to eat chocolates is not to her liking. Okay? And then Amanda's mother says, will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? Okay, now Amanda is obviously, as I said, Amanda is lost in her own world. So she doesn't even look at her mother. All the while her mother has been shouting at her, she doesn't even care to look at her. Now that is something her mother does not like. Okay, so her mother says, look at me when I'm speaking to you. That's bad manners. When somebody is speaking to you, you must look at the person. Her mother fails to realize that she is not actually speaking to her, she is yelling at her. Right? So, she feels insulted by Amanda's, indecent behavior. And therefore, she says, look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda. Alright? Now, as expected, Amanda doesn't care to listen because she is lost in her world. And this time, Amanda thinks of a German imaginary figure from a German fairy tale. Okay? And Amanda says, I'm Rapunzel. Rapunzel is a girl in a German fairy tale. Okay? She is the central character in a German fairy tale. Okay? Now this fairy tale was written by Brothers Grimm, or Grimm brothers. They were German writers, 2 brothers, and they were German writers, and they had written many stories for children. Okay? And their work became famous as Grimm's Tales for Children. Okay? So, one of those stories is about a girl called Rapunzel. Now, Rapunzel was a young girl who was trapped, by a witch, एक Udayan, एक छोटी सी लड़की जिसका नाम रेपुंजल था, उसको कैद करके रखी हुई थी एक टावर पे. So Rapunzel was a girl who was trapped by a witch and kept in a high tower. Now, Rapunzel used to have very long hair, golden hair. And when the witch wanted to visit her, she would call out to Rapunzel, and Rapunzel would lower her hair, her long hair, and the witch would climb up to her with the help of her long hair. Okay? Now, this is the story, and how, again, Rapunzel meets a prince, and the witch tries her best to stop them. Alright? And how finally, the two unite and live happily ever after. That's the story. But the question here is, why does Amanda think of this character called Rapunzel from a German fairy tale? That is the question. Now the answer is that Rapunzel used to be alone in a tower. And what is Amanda looking for? She is looking for loneliness. She is wanting to be, she yearns to be alone. Okay? She longs to be alone, because when she's alone, she will be free. She will be independent. Okay? That is the reason that she thinks about Rapunzel, this imaginary figure. Okay? So she says, I'm Rapunzel, I have not a care. She says, I don't have any care. Just like Rapunzel, who used to live in a tower without being disturbed by anybody. She says, I don't have any care in the world. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. Tranquil means calm and peaceful. Okay? And rare means alone. Alone, rare. Nobody is there to disturb you. That's exactly what Amanda wants. Okay? So she wants to be alone in a tower, like Rapunzel, because the tower would ensure that she is peacefully living there and she is alone without being disturbed by anybody, least of all by her mother. She is not disturbed by anybody. Okay? And she says, she makes it clear, I will certainly never let down my bright hair. She says, I will certainly never let down my bright hair like Rapunzel did, in order for the witch to climb up, okay, and reach her. So she says that least of all, not to my mother, I will not let my hair down for anybody to come and visit me inside the tower. I want to be left alone. I want to be absolutely peaceful. Okay, so peace is something that I desire and I want. Alright, so she says that like Rapunzel, she would be inside the tower, she would be peaceful, she would be alone, but she would not let her hair down for anybody. Alright, so that's her response. That is what she imagines herself to be, Rapunzel. Okay, now coming to the last part of the poem. I told you there is something, unusual. You remember? I told you there's something unusual in the last part. Now, what is it? Stanza 7 of frame 4, the last frame. Obviously, it begins with the yelling and shouting of Amanda's mother. And she says, stop that sulking at once, Amanda. Sulking is feeling sad and disappointed, okay? Feeling annoyed. So Amanda is annoyed according to her mother. But the question is she really annoyed? She is sad, yes. But why is she sad? This is something her mother does not understand. She is sad because of the wrong approach of her mother. Okay? She wants to be free and her mother wouldn't let her be free. Least of all, she is not sensitive to her feelings. She is not even considerate enough to understand that she has to be very friendly in order to convince a young girl like Amanda who is immature. Who is immature, she doesn't understand. Okay? उसकी समझ कम है. तो नासमझ को आप जोर जबरदस्ती कोई चीज समझा नहीं सकते हैं. अगर किसी नासमझ इंसान को और खासकर एक बच्चे को कुछ समझाना हो तो आपको धैर्य के साथ समझाना चाहिए, आपको फ्रेंडली मैनर में समझाना चाहिए. This is something her mother does not understand. Okay? So, the mother thinks that she is sad and sulking, and she says, stop it, don't sulk. You're always so moody, Amanda. Now, what has changed her mood? Her mother has changed her mood. But her mother thinks that she is moody. Her mood keeps shifting. So she says, don't be moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. See, she is nagging. She's actually nagging Amanda, but she does not understand. Okay? And she says, don't do this because people are going to tell me that I am too strict with you. Alright? So, she is very conscious about what the society or how the society would react to her strictness. Okay? So, she is very, very conscious about the society. So she says that don't do this because of your sulking, because of your being such a moody girl, people will think that I'm being too strict with you. People will blame me. Okay, so she doesn't want to be blamed. Alright? So she says that anyone will think, anyone, meaning people will think that she is nagging her. And actually, she is nagging. But that is something she does not understand. Okay? Now, here is where the poem ends. And this is what I said is the unusual thing. What should have been here? Yes. The reaction of Amanda should have been there. But there is no reaction. It ends with her mother. Why? Because Amanda has now completely shut herself off. She has completely detached herself. She has separated herself from whatever her mother is saying. So she is lost in her own world altogether. She is not here at all. Now she has stopped listening. Earlier, she might have been listening to her mother. Her words might have been striking her eardrums. However, now she is completely lost. Therefore, I've marked them, with question marks. Yeah. So where is her mom? Where is she? She's lost. She's not here at all. She's away and away. So far away that she has stopped listening completely to her mother. So she has lapsed into complete indifference. Okay? So here is where you understand that her mother's purpose, her intention of teaching Amanda the right kind of behavior, of teaching Amanda the things that she should learn, the way she has done it has been incorrect. That is the reason that Amanda had completely shut herself off. Alright? You get it? Okay, so I hope the poem is now clear to you. The theme is clear to you. Alright? It's a very pertinent theme, and I'm sure it's clear. Alright? Now, to do the last part, we'll go through the poetic devices quickly. The rhyme scheme, as in part 1, it's the same. 5 and 7. The mother's part, it's A, Amanda, A, and B, A. Alright, Amanda, all rhyming. So A, and stanza 6, because we do not have a stanza 8. Right? So stanza 6, that is Amanda, see, here, rare, there. See. Alright? Okay, repetition, of course, again, Amanda, and alliteration, tower, tranquil, stop, sulking, so repetition of the T sound and the S sound, alright? Now, one little thing is allusion. Allusion has come from the word allude. Allude is to refer to something. Allude to something, it means to refer to something. Allusion is a poetic device by which an incident or a place or a person or a thing from mythology, from history, from political happenings in the past, all right, that is referred to in order to compare something with something else, right? So there is a reference to a historical figure, a political figure, a mythological figure, right, or a figure from a fairy tale or whatever, right? And a famous person is being referred to in order to make a point. So here, when Amanda refers to Rapunzel from the German fairy tale, when she refers to this character, she does it with a purpose. When she imagines herself to be Rapunzel, she does it with a purpose. The poet has, through Amanda, done it with a purpose. Because Rapunzel gives Amanda an escape route to escape from the reality of life. Right? To be lost in another world. So that is the purpose. So that is a poetic device called allusion. That is reference. A reference to a character. And here the character is Rapunzel. Alright? So, that is it. I'm sure you have understood the poem and the poetic devices. It was, I guess, an interesting poem. I hope you've enjoyed it. So, until we meet again, study. Okay, keep working. And of course, be safe, be healthy. Until we meet again, thank you for listening. Bye-bye.